everyone, welcome to Deeksha Vedantu. I'm your Aditi Mam, and today we are going to learn something very important, and I know a lot of you face a little bit of difficulty in this, right? So today we are going to learn about how to balance the chemical equations in a very simple, in a very interesting way that you will love. Okay, so starting with very basic bacha, first we need to know that we are given a chemical equation. Okay, this is your chemical equation. Then iron plus water gives iron oxide and hydrogen gas. Okay ma'am, we know that, we know the equation, but ma'am, I just don't understand how to start balancing it, right? Which element should I balance first, which element should I keep it for last, what should I do? I don't know how to start, right? So that is what we are going to talk today. Now bacha, this is a very important point, and this is why you get confused, because you don't know this order. Now every time you start balancing a chemical equation, you have to start with the very first, that is metal. So you see a chemical equation and you have to understand and you have to learn what is the metal in this chemical equation. Okay, now this is the complete list. Mostly among of these you will get elements, okay, out of this, not in your 9th class. Done? So potassium, sodium, silver, copper, magnesium, zinc, calcium, iron, aluminium, manganese, lead and barium are some of your metals. Then coming to non-metals, we have chlorine, bromine, sulfur, nitrogen, carbon and phosphorus also comes into non-metals, right? And then we have oxygen, then we have hydrogen. So the order varies like this. First you will balance metals, then you will balance non-metals, which are these, then you will balance oxygen, then you will balance hydrogen. Until this it is clear, right? This whole point is clear. Now when you start balancing chemical equation, right, which it will be very easy. Okay, let's start. Let's give you one example. Now the same chemical equation, okay, it's here. What you have to do, you have to make a table. Now you don't have to use any scales or anything, okay? I just have the privilege of using this tool and you don't, so I will use it. Okay, now what you have to do, see, write down all the elements that are present in our chemical equation. What are those? Ma'am, iron. Okay, iron. Okay, that is a metal. Okay, out of this, then what? Then in that series, what comes? Is there a non-metal? There is no non-metal in this equation. So what we'll do? We'll go to oxygen. We'll go to oxygen and then we have hydrogen. So we'll balance iron first, then oxygen, then hydrogen. Done? Until here it's clear. Okay. Next, you have to write this is reactants and this is products. Now, bacha, what you have to do, this is the main point, okay? This is the main point. How many iron are there in the reactant side? This is the reactant side. How many elements of iron are there? Only one, right? How many elements of oxygen are there? Ma'am, only one. And how many elements of hydrogen are there? Ma'am, that's 2. Done? Understood till here? Understood? Okay, now on the product side, coming on to the product side, how many iron are there? Oh ma'am, shit, we have 3 irons in this, right? We have 3 irons in the product side. Then we have 4 oxygen in the product side. Okay, and ma'am, we have 2 hydrogen on the product side. No, so first we will start with what? Balancing the metal. What is the metal? That is iron. Okay, so see, iron, it is 1 on the reactant side and 3 on the product side. So what will I do? Ma'am, one thing I have been cleared by now, that I cannot put any number in the foot of the element, right? So what will I do? I'll just multiply this 1 by 3. If I multiply this 1 by 3, then the iron will become 3 on the reactant side. So can I do this? If I do this, now 3 iron on the reactant side, 3 iron on the product side. Makes sense? Done? Okay, then moving on to oxygen. Ma'am, if I multiply this 1 by 4, then oxygen 4 on the reactant side, 4 on the product side. Great. So can I do this? Of course, no ma'am, you can't do that, right? You cannot make fun of the nature, right? So I have to put O or the 4 here. But ma'am, wait. Oh, okay, now, is it balanced? Is it balanced? 4, 4, 2, 2. But ma'am, wait. In order to balance oxygen, you unbalanced hydrogen, right? So now hydrogen is what? 8. Earlier it was 2. So now it is 8. So now what will I do? If I multiply 2 with 4, it will become 8. 2 with 4, it will become 8, right? So here I can multiply this with 4 and this is your balanced equation, bacha. Was it any tough? Was it tough? Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. Now again we'll make a table. See, with practice you will be able to do it without table as well. Okay, but right now let's just practice and start understanding with the help of table only. Done. So now Al we have O, we have H and we have Cl. Now we'll write it in the order of metal, non-metal, oxygen, hydrogen. Now among of these, which is my metal? Ma'am, what are you talking about? Of course, aluminium is a metal. So I'll write aluminium on the top, because this is the first thing I'll balance. Then we have non-metal, we have chlorine here, right? So this is chlorine, I'll balance this on the second place. And then we have oxygen and hydrogen, so obviously oxygen will be the third place and hydrogen will be the fourth place. Understood? Now, ma'am, this is the reactant side, this is the product side. Let's just balance quickly. Let's just balance it. Now, how many elements of aluminium are there on the reactant side? Ma'am, only 2 are there. Only 2 are there. And how many of they are on the product side? Only 1. Only 1 is there. Then, how many chlorine are there on the reactant side? Only 1. Right, and in the product side it's 3, okay, and then oxygen on the reactant side 3, right? Oxygen on the product side is what? Only 1. Oxygen, and we have hydrogen on the reactant side, that is 1, and hydrogen on the product side is 2. So everything is unbalanced. Ma'am, what is this? Everything is unbalanced. Why you are doing this to us? It is very easy. Okay, now see. First, you have to balance aluminium. Okay, so what will I do? Ma'am, if I just multiply this one with 2, oops, wait, this one, if I multiply this one with 2, I will get what? I will get 2 aluminiums, and 2 aluminiums now they are balanced, right? So what will I do, ma'am? Here are 2 aluminiums. I'll multiply the product side with 2, right? So I'll write 2 here. Understood? Makes sense, fair. Okay, then we'll move on to chlorine. But before that, bacha, this is where the twist is. Every time you balance some element, you have to check, did your balancing unbalanced something else, right? So see, here aluminium became 2, but this 2 also multiplies with chlorine, right? So now in the product side, chlorine is not only 3, it becomes 2 into 3. That is what? It becomes 6. So now this is not 3, it becomes 6. Understood? Understood what I'm trying to say? Okay. Now, okay, still aluminium is balanced. Now let's just move on to chlorine. Now chlorine is 1 here and chlorine is 6 here. So I'll just multiply this 1 with 6. How easy is that? Correct. So I'll just multiply this 1 with 6. But ma'am, again you unbalanced hydrogen, right? So now on the reactant side, hydrogen is not 1. It became 6. Right, it became 6, and on this product side it is still 2. Okay, now moving on to oxygen. Ma'am, oxygen is 3, here oxygen is 1, so I'll just multiply this oxygen with 3, and the oxygen will be 3 on the product side, 3 on the reactant side, and makes sense, right? So oxygen, I will multiply this with 3. But ma'am, wait, in balancing oxygen you unbalanced hydrogen. Now here the hydrogen is what? 3 into 2, 6. So now it's not 2, it's 6. Oh, it balanced it in itself. See the beauty of balancing. While you are balancing everything else, hydrogen was like, okay, I'll be lenient to you, I'll get balanced in myself, in itself. Okay, so now this bacha is your balanced equation. Understood? If you have any doubt in any of this, you can just comment down, you can come in the live sessions, you can ask. Okay, so for that, subscribe the channel. Done? Okay, we have so many more reactions to practice. Done? Now, this again, make a table. Make a table. Now, okay, I am giving you this as your homework. Okay, because this is very simple. Done. And we'll move on to the next one. You have to practice something. Okay, first we have copper is the metal, sulfur is the non-metal, then we have oxygen. Okay, it's copper, sulfur, oxygen, reactant side, product side, and this. Now you just have to fill the table with the number of elements and then balance it. That's it. Okay, until then I'll move on to the next, and you have to write answer in the comments. Answer will be in the comments, and for this you have slide number what? Slide number 5. We have slide number 5. So your answer will be slide number 5 and the whole equation if you want to write, or you can just write the values of A, B, C and D. A, B, C and D are some of the numbers, okay, that you will put in front of these. Done? Okay, now let's move on to this one. This is a little bigger, ma'am. I'm getting scared watching this. Okay, so let's understand what is the metal in each of these. Ma'am, barium is the metal, aluminium is also the metal, sulfur is my non-metal, chlorine is also my non-metal, and then we have oxygen. Done? Done? So I'll just write it in any possible manner. You can write it. You don't have to think about if I write barium first, aluminium first. Out of metals you can write anything. Okay, so let's just write aluminium, barium, sulfur, or chlorine, sulfur, oxygen. Done. And this will be our reactant side, this will be our product side. Understood? Now on the reactant side, how many elements of aluminium are there? Ma'am, 2 are there. 2 are there. Done. We have 2 of aluminium are there. Ma'am, in the product side we have only just 1 aluminium. Okay, and then in barium we have only 1 barium, and on the product side we also have 1 barium. That's good. Oof, thank you. In the chlorine we have 2 chlorines on the reactant side, 2 chlorines, and we have 3 chlorines on the product side. Shit, what is this? Okay, then we have 1 sulfur on the reactant side, 1 sulfur on the product side. Oxygen is beta. Okay, this is where things get interesting. Okay, this SO4, sometimes you can treat it separately when it is just SO4, but now it is SO4 thrice. You'll have to be a little bit more careful. Why? Because now the sulfur is not 1, it is 3 now. This 3 will multiply inside, so sulfur is 3 and oxygen is 3 into 4 what? 12. Okay, and in this side we have only 4 oxygen and only 1 sulfur. Done? Okay, so ma'am, I'll just do this and I'll balance SO4 thrice. Can you do that? Can you do that? No, you can't, right? Because you cannot put anything in the foot of the element. That is our first rule of the balancing of chemical equations. Done? Okay, now bacha, let's start. Now we have aluminium 2 on the reactant side, 1 on the product side. So ma'am, what is this? I'll just multiply this with 2 and both will be balanced. Okay, let's just multiply with this with 2. So this will be 2AlCl3. Done. But ma'am, there is Cl also here, right? So in trying to balance aluminium, we unbalanced chlorine. So now chlorine is what? 2 into 3, that is 6. So this is not 3 anymore, it is 6. Done? Okay. Now barium's turn. Barium is balanced. We don't need barium. Okay, then quickly move to chlorine. Now ma'am, chlorine is 2 here and chlorine is 6 there. So if I just multiply 2 with 3, will I get 6? 2 into 3 is 6, right? So this 2 into 3. Okay, I multiplied and now it's sorted. Is it sorted? Is it sorted? No ma'am, because you unbalanced barium. Shit ma'am, what is this? Let's just go step by step, okay? First we balanced aluminium. In trying to balance aluminium, we unbalanced chlorine. So we wrote that again. Then barium is balanced, then we move to chlorine, but in trying to balance chlorine, we unbalanced the barium. So let's just move back to barium. That's it. Okay. When you move back to barium, now how much is barium? That is 3. So barium is 3 here, right? So if I just multiply this one with 3, will it be 3 barium? Will it be balanced, right? So 3 and 1 into 3. So I'll just balance 3 barium here. Okay. Now, ma'am, what happened? See, S became 3. 3s, this 3 multiplied with sulfur as well, right? So sulfur is now not 1 on the product side, it's 3 and it got balanced. Also 4 into 3, 12, 3 into 4, 12. So this also got balanced, correct? And hence your whole equation, bacha, is balanced. Was that hard? You tell me in the comment section, you let me know you understood it or not. Every time you balance some element, you make sure that you look at it right, that in trying to balance that particular element, did you not unbalance some other element? Okay, that is the one thing you have to be very careful about. Okay, now coming on to PbNO3. Let me just write this equation again. There is no space here. Okay, PbNO3 twice. We have PbNO3 twice, which becomes what? Which becomes PbONO2 and O2. PbO plus NO2 plus O2. Was it NO2, NO2? Yes. Okay. Now again what we'll do? We'll make a table and we'll write the elements. Ma'am, what is the metal? Ma'am, Pb is the metal, right? And then nitrogen and then oxygen. Done. Now you just have to balance. This is the reactant side, this is the product side, and we will balance these. Now lead is only one, right? On the product side, lead is only one. Great. N is what? N is 2, right? N is 2. N is 2, and here we have N only one. The oxygen is what? 3 into 2, 6. Oxygen is what? 2 plus 2, 4, right? So it is 6 here, it is 4 here. So ma'am, lead is already balanced, nitrogen is already balanced. Let's just balance oxygen, right? Let's just balance oxygen. So what will I do? Ma'am, here are 2 O2. We don't have to multiply this with 4 and this with 6. No, we won't have to do that. Why? Because we have 2 O2s. If I write 2 with this O2, this will become what? 4 plus this 2 oxygen, this becomes what? 6. And we already have 6 in the reactant side. Easy. See how easy it is. It is not that tough. Done. Okay, just have to use a little bit of your brain. Now let's move on to some questions. Okay, we'll do some questions that can be asked in your papers, and this is an NCERT question as well. This is a NCERT question. Okay, now consider the following chemical equation. There is a chemical equation given: P aluminium plus QH2O or Al2. Ma'am, what is this PQRS? Okay, to balance this chemical equation, the values of P, Q, R and S must be respectively what? So basically you just have to balance the chemical equation, and whatever comes here, let's say 2, 1, 3, so then 2 will be your P, 1 will be your Q, R will be your 3. Okay, so we'll do that. That just an example. We'll do that with the help of actual table. Okay, now we have aluminium, we have oxygen, we have hydrogen, reactant side, product side. Done. This is what we are given with. Aluminium is 1 on the reactant side. On product side it is 2, right? So 2 on the product side. Oxygen is 1 on the reactant side. Oxygen, ma'am, is 3 on the product side. Okay. Hydrogen is 2 on the reactant side, and here hydrogen is also 2. Okay, so what do we need to balance? Now we need to balance aluminium as well as oxygen. Okay, let's balance aluminium first. Very simple. Here it is 1. If I multiply this 1 with 2 aluminium in reactant side, 2 on product side, it will be balanced. So here it will be 2 aluminium. Done. Then we have oxygen. If I just multiply again this 1 with 3, the oxygen will become 3, and on the product side oxygen will also become 3, right? So here the oxygen will become 3, right? It's already 3 here, and if I multiply here with 3, it will become 3. But ma'am, wait, shit. Then also the hydrogen got unbalanced, right? 3 into 2, it's 6. Right, but here it's only 2. So now it's not 2 here, it is 6 on the reactant side, right? So what will I do? I'll just multiply this 2 with 3. 2 into 3 is what? 2 into 3 is 6. So again hydrogen will be balanced. I'll multiply this with 3. Okay, now compare this equation with the upper one. What is it? Aluminium has P, aluminium has 2. So P will be what? P will be 2. Right? Then Q will be what? Q will be 3. Q will be the constant with water, that is 3. Then R is Al2O3. R is, there's nothing with Al2O3. So will you write 0? No ma'am, we will write 1. We are good. Syana bacha. R will be 1. And then we have S in the place of 3. Right? So S is again 3. So this is bacha your final answer. Done? Everyone understood? Everyone understood this? Basically very easy question, right? You just have to balance and then equate the two conditions, right? Now I have one very important homework for you guys. This is a homework question and you have to give the answer in the comment sections. Answer in comments. And this bacha is slide number what? Slide number 8. Can you solve it? Let me know who of you can solve it and give me the answer to this. Okay, simply you just make a diagram, not a diagram, you just make a box. This is reactant side, product side. Manganese, oh, hydrogen and chlorine. Oof. So what you write? Ma'am, Mn, chlorine, oxygen, hydrogen. So manganese, how many manganese are there on the reactant side? How many manganese are there on the reactant side? Ma'am, only one. In the product, again one. Ma'am, chlorine is 1 on the reactant side, 2 on the product side. So this we need to balance. Oxygen 2 on the reactant side, only 1. Only 1 on the product side, and then hydrogen only 1 on the reactant side and 2 on the product side. Okay, chlorine was 4. Right, there was one more chlorine that I forgot to count, bacha. So this chlorine 2 plus 2 chlorine this. So chlorine is 4. So you will just balance the chemical equation, compare this chemical equation with this given one, and let me know the value of X, the value of Y, the value of Z. Okay, the value of X, Y, Z. X came in chemistry now as well. It was only in math up till now. Okay, bacha, that is it for this video. You have finally, I hope you understood the chemical reactions, how to balance it. If you have not understood in your class or anywhere, you can come in my live. We will study about that, all of that. You can ask your doubts and everything, okay? And I hope you understood this whole video. I'll see you in the next one. Tata, bye bye.